What's up guys, this is Chris here, and today we're giving you what you want. We haven't done a Palmetto state review in quite a while, so today we're going to be doing the first shots on the PSA Rock 5.7. Now this is one of the guns that has been so highly requested on the channel. We've done a lot of 5.7s recently. We've done the FN, we've done the Smith & Wesson, which I'm a big fan of, and the Ruger, and in all those videos there's been a lot of comments about the PSA Rock. So I wanted to see what the hype was about, so I picked one up. This is actually more of a budget-oriented gun, at least this model is. Now this is the cheapest model of the Rock that they have. This is the base model that isn't optics ready, doesn't come with any of the cool features, but it is relatively affordable. This is a 4.7 inch barreled 5.7 pistol. This came with one magazine, just iron sights, and it was about 400 bucks, which is pretty reasonable in my personal opinion. 25 ounces, the slide material is 416 stainless steel, so it's not made of junk material by any means. 25 ounce is great for the capacity of 23+1. That's a very impressive capacity and size to weight ratio as you get on most of the 5.7s. 5.7s don't have quite the recoil 9mm does. They're a little easier to handle, and on top of that, they're a skinnier ammunition, so they do fit more in the magazine for the same grip length. So you get quite a shootable pistol with a decent capacity for a low weight, and that's why people like the 5.7. The disadvantage of 5.7 is that currently 5.7 is much more expensive than 9mm, and usually about 2-to-1 ratio, so it's going to cost you a little more to shoot. So if you're going to get into a budget pistol, you might want to keep the money that you saved, buy some ammo with it. That being said, how does the PSA compare to a lot of its competitors, which we're going to get into a little today. We're going to shoot it, we're going to figure out if it's accurate, reliable, and I'll give you my first impressions at the end of the video. We'll go through the features here quick. We have some front slide serrations, which is always nice in case you want to run the front, especially if you have an optic in the back, which we do not, but I do that a lot on my competition guns, so that's pretty cool. We have a very long Picatinny rail there, fit just about any optic that you need. Kind of a weird diagonal trigger guard, which is all right because you still have a pretty big trigger guard if you want to run this with gloved hands. Now in dry fire practice, the trigger was not great. And I'm a bit of a trigger snob, and originally when I pulled this trigger, I was like, man, is there something wrong with this? Because I had to pull like 10 pounds before the trigger pulled. And if you compare that straight off the gate to the FN, the Ruger, or the Smith, they all three have better triggers than this, but sometimes things change when you fire a loaded gun as opposed to dry fire, so we'll go down and test that today. The grip is absolutely excellent. I love the grip, I love how it feels. The ergonomics get you really high on the gun, and it feels very natural, along with a very low bore axis. Very cool design in my opinion. The trigger does have kind of a straight face. It's curved a little, but it's more straight than most, and it's got a good undercut, so the gun's very comfortable in my hand, along with enlarged controls, including the slide lock and the magazine release. The magazines are interesting. They look pretty high quality, especially for a relatively cheap gun. Palmetto gets away with being sort of budget friendly just simply because they are direct manufacturers and there's no middleman, so they can lower the price on you, which is kind of nice. Now I do like that, but I have had plenty of these which did not live up to the hype. Palmetto isn't always good as the internet tells you it is. Sometimes you do get what you pay for. That being said, for a $400 gun, you seem to have some pretty good features. You only get one magazine though, which always makes me a little nervous. I'd prefer a little less features and a couple more mags, but hey, it is what it is. We'll get out and shoot it, but before we do, I want to thank the Patreon supporters. Thank you guys very much. We purchased this gun with the Patreon dollars. You guys support us, and we really appreciate you for that. We try to give you the most honest gun content on the internet, and if you're into that, just go down to the description below and sign up. Also in that description is a link to a local shelter in Ames, Iowa. It's the YSS. It could really use your help, so please go down there and donate to those kids. And finally, the sponsor of this video, Mrs. Outlaw. She's beautiful, and she lets me do this shit for a living.
You're welcome, everyone. Okay, you sexy.
Well, I just realized that we murdered almost all of our targets yesterday with the spear. We were shooting the spear close range yesterday, and I killed all my steel targets, so I only have one of them up. And this gun is like super rattly. You hear that? I don't know what the hell that is, but it's a rattly ass gun. So we're gonna shoot this at 75 yards. We're out almost 80 here, and just see what we can hit. We do have it lubed up with Slip 2000. Frogs are popping off. We'll see how it goes. Left. Left.
Got it. Got it.
Fucking love 5.7. So far so good, 400 bucks. It's a shooter. All right, so we're at about 45. Usually I gotta hide behind the shed, but moved a little closer today just because it's so nice outside. We'll plink a little bit at the targets here, see how we do. We got some hits at 75, so. Oh, we can even hit those small ones. This is an accurate little thing. Honestly, for a budget gun, a lot of times they skimp on the sights. These aren't bad sights. These are steel sights. White front is a little bit bigger than the rear. And you may not seem like much, but that makes the front sight easily distinguishable. It's a cool gun. The grip fits me great too. I kind of wish I sprung the extra $100 for the optics ready version now, but I wanted to make it a budget gun, and for $400 is excellent.
Seems
so
like
far.
The sights are pretty good anyways.
Yeah, they are. They absolutely are. It's kind of nice when a gun is low drag too. You know, nothing to snag on, nothing to go wrong. A lot of times I carry, even though I am a big promoter of red dots, I still often carry an iron sight gun just simply for the reliability and the simplicity of it.
Snag-free nature.
Yeah, snag-free, absolutely. Makes the slide easier to get a hold of as well. Very shootable. That's why I love 5.7. It's like a little mini rifle round coming out of a handgun. And rifles, to me, it doesn't make any sense because usually they're as heavy and as expensive as a 5.56, in which case, if there's a better option, go that route. Now, a 9mm versus 5.7 is a little bit different because you have a lighter, higher capacity round that shoots flatter, that still does decent ballistics. Now, it's more expensive, but you do get something in return as opposed to a rifle.
This is what happens when you shoot targets repeatedly with 308.
All right, now that we've picked up half the targets on the range, slide release is a little stiff.
Man, that's fun to shoot, ain't it?
It is fun, yeah. It's like a little high-powered 22. It's like 22 mag.
Pew, pew, pew.
You can flip it real well. I don't know if you're into that. Looking like a cowboy, but you can. I feel like shooting fast today. Now, one of the downsides to the 5.7 is that it does achieve its power, and people say it's similar to ballistics 9mm. I'm not sure about that. However, it is going a little faster than 9, but it does have a significantly smaller and lighter bullet than a 9mm, so you don't get quite as much kinetic energy on target. So if you're planning on shooting like steel targets, knockdown targets, just know in advance it's gonna have a similar performance as like a 22 mag, as opposed to something like a 9 or a 40 or a 45, which usually knocks them down every time. I think it'll knock down our dueling tree here, or our plate rack here, but I'm not super sure about the dueling tree, so we'll see. I wanna see if I can get one from the hip. Not too bad. Not bad.
And we're out.
First impressions of the Rock 5.7 are extremely positive. It's kind of nice when expectation meets reality. Sometimes it doesn't work that way, and today it definitely did. $400, $500 guns, depends on where you get it. Pretty impressive. Now the ammunition's a little bit more expensive, obviously, but you're gonna know that going in if you watch the video. And is it worth it? I think it is. It's a super fun pistol. It's one of those guns that if you're a little recoil sensitive, this is a good way to go, because it's still pretty effective for home defense or a concealed carry role. However, not quite as effective in my opinion, but still pretty good. It's still definitely doable. You know, 380 is doable, 5.7 is definitely doable. Very shootable gun, has a high capacity, a low weight, and smooth recoil impulse, and the trigger in action is pretty good. It was a little heavy and dry fire, but once you get used to it, man, it's got a nice crisp break to it, and the sights are real nice. So I'm happy with it so far, and I will be doing a full 1,000 round review of this. It'll cost me an arm and a leg and maybe a liver, but we'll get her done. And we'll get with you in a few months and let you know the final results of the test. Again, first impressions, first shots are what they are. We take the gun, we lube it up, we take it out, we shoot 100, 200 rounds through it, give you my first impressions. It's not a review. The final review will be in a couple of months, and hopefully it will be favorable as long as this performance streak continues. Accuracy is great, price is great, ergos are great, could end up being a great budget gun. We'll have to see. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Please support our Oklahoma shelters, and remember to recycle. I'll check you later.